How's it going, everyone? It's Colin from Ace Bike Media, and I am back with another episode of Psychopaths. Today, we are in Plainfield, Wisconsin. We're gonna dig up the past in a town that may have some skeletons in its closet. My guest today is my channel partner, Andy Heck. We are both on our way up to the Windman Trails for Creator Camp 2025, but we really want to knock this episode out. It's a pretty interesting one, and we think you guys are gonna like it.
And I don't think we're really digging anything up, especially skeletons. Like literally.
Hang on.
I mean, okay, figuratively.
Andy.
We're definitely digging stuff up too. Skeletons and all. Let's go.
Let's go. You know, there isn't a no trespassing sign.
Yeah, but that's wild that he was buried right next to it then.
Right in front of his mother.
I don't always like feel the essence of like a historical place. Like, you know what kind of happened? There's like ominous feeling. Like, I don't know if it's like the little bit of wind we got or just knowing what happened here, but like I kind of feel it. Is that the Drake?
Yep, that's where Kendrick laid him to rest.
No, I think this is just an episode of Between Two Ferns.
If you haven't figured it out, we're at Cemetery because this episode is about none other than the butcher of Plainfield, Ed Gein. Andy, what do you know about Ed Gein?
He's a serial killer, or is he?
He's sort of a serial killer. He actually is known more as a grave robber. And we're in his old stomping grounds.
I do know about the nipple belt.
Nipple belt.
That is probably, I mean, he did some gnarly shit, but having a belt made of nipples is probably top of the list there.
Well, what about the box of vulvas?
Oh,
my wife almost threw up when she heard that.
Okay, so there's some utility to the belt. The vulvas, I don't know.
Yeah.
The lampshades out of skin. Well, wearing costumes of other people's skin is pretty crazy as well.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of craziness.
Let us know how you rank those in the comments.
Yeah, rank your weirdness. Rank your weirdness scale. Andy, do you want to see Ed Gein's grave?
Yeah, I tried looking for it a long time ago, and I think they used to keep it secret for some reason, but now it's like known.
Well, luckily you're with a guy who knows exactly where to find it. Let's go.
See.
Oh, we went too far.
Oh.
All right, so this is the Gein's family plot.
Yeah, there's father, mother, Henry. Who's Henry?
That is Ed Gein's brother.
And where's Ed? Well, must be there, huh?
Ed was buried right there.
Dude.
His grave kept getting stolen.
Is somebody trying to dig it up? There's like two
little holes here.
Gosh.
But yeah, people kept stealing his headstone. I think it's in like a local museum right now. But yeah, Ed is buried right here between his brother and his overbearing mother, who I know it's not per se the coolest thing, but I'm going to talk shit about his mom. Not here though. I will save that for down the road.
Ed Gein, The man, the myth, the walking nightmare that single-handedly inspired countless horror movies. Born in 1906, Ed grew up mostly on a lonely farm outside Plainfield, Wisconsin, under the watchful eye of his overbearing, religious zealot of a mother, Augusta. She hated women, alcohol, and pretty much everyone who wasn't her. Unfortunately, Ed worshipped her, and when she died, he unraveled into the kind of monster that gets his own Netflix show about his crimes. Left alone on the family farm, Ed spent a lot of his time reading anatomy books and true crime magazines. Eventually, though, curiosity turned into full-on grave robbing. He dug up freshly buried bodies, took them home, and let's just say he got a little bit creative. But Ed didn't just rob graves. He does have 2 confirmed kills to his name, and likely a third, his own brother. In 1957, police investigating the disappearance of a local woman, Bernice Warden, found her body hanging in Ed's shed, and a house full of human remains straight out of a nightmare. It was like stepping into the real-world set of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except this was shockingly real.
All right, so Father George died in 1940, basically of alcoholism. And then he was followed by Henry. Henry here, who is Ed's brother, died under mysterious circumstances while burning brush with Ed. But truthfully, I believe, and I think a lot of people believe, that Ed actually probably murdered his brother. People kind of speculate that he may have hit him over the head with a shovel. There wasn't really an investigation. I think it was ruled a heart attack, but him and his brother were starting to beef over mother. And yeah, the speculation is that Ed murdered his brother.
Someone left him a flower.
Yeah, they left him a flower and 6 cents. Get it?
I get
6 cents. Augusta Gein honestly lived longer than she should have because she, like I said, I'll talk crap later. But I think she died of multiple strokes, and that absolutely destroyed Ed and led to his rampage, more or less. But Andy, I actually brought you over here to show you something. This right here, Eleanor M. Adams, was actually one of the graves that Ed dug up. So under here is essentially an empty casket.
And that's wild that he was buried right next to it then.
Right in front of his mother.
That's crazy.
This right here.
Yeah.
Wild.
No, how he was allowed to even... I didn't realize he was buried in the same place he...
Yeah. You'd
robbed
think
from.
there'd be like major outrage about, of all the things you'd think there would be serious outrage. And
Well, especially the husband was around.
Yep, the husband, World War I vet, died in 1978. I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna have to double check and I'll do some voiceover to correct myself on this story, but I believe he actually led some lawsuits against the Gein estate, and they did win a settlement. Not positive this is the family, but I will do my research and correct it in the video. So the husband, Floyd D. Adams, lived until 1978, which means he died shortly before Ed Gein, who passed away in 84. It's crazy to think Ed Gein lived until 1984.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And do you know what he died of? Cancer. Just cancer. He was fine. He loved his life in the mental institution.
Oh, I'm sure.
He said it was comfortable. He learned tons of trades. And yeah, he lived a pretty solid life. I do find it curious that the Bates family has a plot right across from the Gein family, which is right back there by those trees. And the movie Psycho was based off of Ed Gein.
John 3:16. I thought it was Austin 3:16. So we were checking out a few of the different graves around here, and it reminded me of a tip I got for a while back from a writer. So anybody writing fiction, if you're ever struggling to come up with a name for characters in your story, it can help to walk around or drive around a cemetery. There's a lot of interesting names you might have never otherwise thought of. So interesting tip.
Yeah.
The joke's already been made 1,000 times, but the name Plainfield really is right on the nose. Founded in 1848, the same year that Wisconsin became a state, the foresight in naming this place Plainfield remains hilariously accurate. It's flat, quiet, and just about as uneventful as small-town America gets. This little rural community in central Wisconsin has never seen its population climb over 1,000, and I'm sure the locals are more than a little tired of the attention from outsiders chasing their morbid curiosities. I can only imagine what kind of circus this place is about to become with the new Netflix series that just dropped.
This is like American Pickers territory.
So for this episode, I'm going to be riding my Primo Cycles Dame. This is a steel gravel bike with 650B wheels. I have tons of videos of it on the channel. If you want to check those out, go do that. Andy Heck, what are you riding today?
This is a bike I'm riding. It says State on it. It also says Charge and WTB.
Do you know anything about this bike? Okay, so that's actually one of my mountain bikes. Andy doesn't have a gravel bike, so he's riding this. I also have a few videos of this up on the channel. Go check it out. Also, if you want 10% off State bikes, there'll be a discount code in the description below. Andy, stop looking at Pokestops. It is a Pokestop, all right? I know it is. All right, so we're here in front of the telephone company on North and Main Street in Plainfield. And Andy, you see this building in the corner right here?
Yeah.
Right there. That's where Ed Gein murdered his second and final victim. That was Warden's hardware store in 1957, I think was his final murder. And
What was he doing there?
I think he said buying antifreeze and looking at a rifle.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably where he bought all the shovels too.
Yeah. It still says garage sale on the window.
And
But
there's still an ad right there though.
yeah,
too,
there
for
is a lawnmower ad underneath it, but there's clearly not a store. So it looks like this place has been a hardware store for a long time. They just, Plainfield will not give up on this hardware store.
Oh, now we got this headwind.
What?
Now we got this headwind.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not too bad.
At least there's one thing to do in this town.
What's
Bowling.
that? Bowling. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't look like we're bowling today. Hey, Andy, there's another hardware store.
Do you think you can get a rifle there?
It would be cool. I prefer my hardware stores have guns and ammunition. Headwind is crazy. Why do I always do this when it's windy out? That's a plain field if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. I'd rather have a plain forest to block this wind.
No kidding. Dude, this is crazy.
It's like really wearing me out. It was so easy to ride over there.
Our next stop on the ride is none other than the Gein farm itself, sitting just a few short miles from downtown. I'm not exaggerating, once we turned off Main Street and hit the back roads, we saw more tractors than cars. Even though this spot sits right off Interstate 94, one of the busiest highways in the country, it somehow feels completely isolated. Within minutes, it felt like we'd ridden straight off the map and into another dimension. One where a quiet, ordinary man committed some of the most disturbing acts America has ever seen.
Man, this is like the 14th Plainfield we've ridden by.
They're everywhere. There's even real life gravel roads here. Super pretty. Very flat, which is nice. I should come out here and do like a legit big ride sometime. It is very pretty on these roads though. Like, I don't want to say I wish I lived in Plainfield because it is super epically boring. But these roads are really nice. And there are some gravel, actual gravel. I'm on shitty asphalt right now, but it's kind of pleasant. Not a lot of cars.
Not a lot of hills.
Not a lot of hills, that is true. But you have reached your destination.
And what is it?
This is the location of the Ed Gein farm. Or the Gein family farm. Someone mows. You know there isn't a no trespassing sign.
Yeah, but
We've done that in a Cycle Pass episode before, and it didn't work out super well for us. Or at least for me, I got yelled at. I'm not gonna trespass, guys, but I'm gonna fly my drone over it.
Gein was eventually declared insane and spent the rest of his life in psychiatric institutions until his death in 1984. Today, his legacy lives on in horror movies, folklore, and the unsettling realization that one of the most grotesque killers in American history came from the quietest town in Wisconsin. Just another example of weird and disturbing characters from the Dairy State that end up with hit shows about their twisted crimes on Netflix.
So, according to Google, it looks like the house was literally right here. So, probably right over here and all here. Yeah, pretty crazy. The House of Horrors.
I wonder who lit the thing on fire.
So that brings up an interesting topic because yes, Ed Gein's house is no longer here. What happened to it? Well, they went to auction off a bunch of his property, including the house, and it mysteriously burned down the night before the auction.
Well, and the interesting part about it is it got like national attention that this auction was happening because like at the time, serial killers were like celebrities almost. Like they had this notoriety that attracted collectors anyways.
Yes. And that's actually a funny thing that I was reading is that his car was one of the main things that was auctioned off. And they paraded it around the Midwest at a bunch of county fairs. The last county fair that it was at was the Slinger, Wisconsin Fair, which is where Little Switz Bike Park was. RIP to that place. But that was the last one. There was a lot of uproar that people were like, you know, paying to see this insane guy's car. And the guy who bought it decided to take it back to Illinois where he lived. And since then, no one has any idea where Ed Gein's 1949 Ford is.
It'd be wild to be the person that owns it and like you're just keeping that like, and for what reason keeping it a secret, but
Someone knows where it is.
yeah.
Someone knows.
I don't always like feel the essence of like a historical place. Like, you know what kind of happened certain places, but here, like, there's like ominous feeling. Like, I don't know if it's like the little bit of wind we got or just knowing what happened here, but like, I kind of feel it. I don't know. It's just like such a nice, peaceful, like pretty property that,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just like, you can't help but feel like a little bit of like that eerie feeling.
Yeah.
Even though like otherwise there wouldn't be a reason, but just knowing what happened here. Oh, there you can see the shed.
Yep. There's a shed back there.
Kind of reminds me of Moselle.
Who is that? Murdoch?
Yeah.
Alex Murdoch? Yeah.
Is it Alex or Alec? I still don't know. I listened to the whole trial. I still don't know.
Yeah, same. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Psychopaths down there sometime. Not one good Strava segment on Ed Gein's Road.
Somebody should fix that.
Someone's really screwing up. I'll be right back. I'm gonna make one right now. I'm gonna make it from that gravel road down there to this gravel road. All right? Give me a second. I'll meet you at the Gein farm.
All right.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. That's really all we got. We are going to book it now. I think we have like a 2-hour drive up to Creator Camp. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you go head over to our Instagram also. I'll put some behind the scenes footage. Andy, thanks again for coming along. I drag him on all of these.
Hey, if I'm around, and it's been fun, and I like checking this stuff out.
Yeah, it's cool. We get to go check out
Let
some
us
history.
know what you think of all this serial killer stuff in Wisconsin, especially like the Ed Gein stuff. What do you think in the comments below?
Yeah, yep. And we'll see you down in the comments. Later, guys.
See ya.